Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla's new Cybertruck option, the latest for Supercharger expansion, FSD, and more, so let's get into it, and a special thanks to Keeps for sponsoring a portion of this video. First up today, while the expansive Supercharger network has been one of Tesla's greatest assets in promoting their own EV sales, recent stories have muddled the company's focus on this project. It was big news a few weeks ago that Tesla fired their entire Supercharger team, and that left the future of its rollout in question. With all of the confusion, Elon posted on X that Tesla is still planning on expanding charger rollout, but that it will come at a slower pace. Despite that reassurance, it still hasn't made the future any clearer, and a lot of other companies are already jumping at an opportunity to close the fast charging gap with Tesla. In the wake of the Supercharger team's layoff, apparently a lot of upcoming and in-progress Supercharger site owners were left in the dark as to how things would proceed. Based on the communications we've seen to their partners, it sounds like payments would be delayed and many projects would be put on hold. That might have shaken up their partners' confidence in the projects, and as such, BP may be stepping in to pick up the slack. The oil giant BP has been looking to get into EV fast charging, predominantly using Superchargers purchased from Tesla themselves, and they've already reached out to those site owners that have been left in the dark. Regarding those sites, the CEO of BP Pulse America told Bloomberg, if there are stranded real estate partners who are looking for someone to call, they should feel free to pick up the phone and call me or look me up on LinkedIn. The company is looking to rapidly scale their charging network in the next few years, and their plans to build 3,000 charging points across America were only emboldened by Tesla's sudden course change. This isn't the only story we've been hearing like this, with charging companies like Revel snapping up Tesla sites to incorporate into their own charging networks. A lot of people have taken this BP news to mean that Tesla will eventually sell their entire network to someone like BP, but that doesn't actually seem to be the case, at least not for some time. The Tesla charging account on X posted about the importance of Tesla's charging mission, and gave a thanks to site hosts and suppliers, quote, for their patience as we restructure internally. A few hours later, Elon followed that up with his own post saying, just to reiterate, Tesla will spend well over $500 million expanding our Supercharger network to create thousands of new chargers this year. That's just on new sites and expansions, not counting operation costs, which are much higher. According to Electrek, that should mean that Tesla is planning on a similar charger installation rate as in Q1 of this year, but Tesla had a full Supercharger team at the time. Tesla's mass layoff of the Supercharger team was definitely very sudden, and it sounds like they didn't have much prepared to communicate how things might change going forward. There was a lot of speculation that Tesla's Supercharger strategy might be shifting towards relying on and selling charger technology to third parties. On the other hand, they seem to be doubling down on continued expansion. They are just completely reworking how they do it after letting the whole team go. On the negative side, this could lead to the Supercharger network slowing down and Tesla losing their lead. On the positive side, after a period of restructuring, we could see this continue to grow, and maybe it will eventually be more efficient for Tesla. The thing I always ask here for people who have a huge problem with Tesla's changes here, and assume it is going to be a disaster, is did you know that there were 500 people working on Superchargers before? I surely didn't, so I'm a little slower to judge how this will all pan out. In the meantime, it's definitely still a mess, but we will see how this goes in time. Next up to date, the latest updates for the Cybertruck. Last week, Tesla rolled out an update that greatly increased the sensitivity of the pinch sensor in the Cybertruck's powered frunk. That mechanism had been drawing a lot of attention and criticism before, based on the dozens of videos of people putting carrots, water bottles, and even fingers into the closing frunk to see how much damage it would do. Now they have updated it with greatly improved results. Some customers have been putting it to the test, and as such, we learned that it actually uses a learning algorithm that will adapt based on each user's engagement and likely improve with software over time. Alongside that frunk update, Tesla also rolled out some long-awaited features to dramatically improve the truck's off-roading performance. Some Cybertruck owners have already put this vehicle through its paces since then and pushed this truck even further than it could before. We can see in these photos the kinds of rough terrain that this truck can now conquer, where it may have previously struggled a bit. The locking differentials were a very welcome update, and it is clearly doing a lot to get this truck up those jagged, steep hills. This just goes to show the strength of Tesla's software-based approach to vehicle design, but it also points out that maybe they could have brought these features out at launch. Either way, in one big software update, thousands of owners suddenly woke up to a vehicle that is much more capable than it was the day before. While Tesla works on the domestic rollout of the Cybertruck, they are also simultaneously continuing its big world tour. The official Tesla page posted these photos of people flocking to see this truck inside the Mall of Berlin. Currently, there are no plans to bring this truck to market in Europe, and it may not even be allowed to be sold there for specific reasons, but clearly there is interest among customers. Tesla needs to work on expanding American production of this truck, but this extended world tour may mean that someday in the far future, we could see this truck or some other cyber vehicle hit European markets. In the meantime, it's a great marketing tool for Tesla as a whole to say, hey, look at this awesome, crazy future vehicle. Also, you can buy a Model 3 or Y today in Europe. If you've been eagerly awaiting the arrival of your own Cybertruck, then you'll be pleased to hear that Tesla has just rolled out a new wave of Foundation Series invites, showing that they are keeping rolling with this. There was a lot of speculation surrounding this exclusive trim and how many Tesla would end up delivering. With the recent Cybertruck recall, we learned that they had delivered 3,878 of these vehicles by mid-April. Originally, it was rumored that Tesla would only be making 1,000 of this marked up version, but since we've blown past that number, it does raise the question as to how many Tesla will actually make. We could be nearing the end of Foundation Series production, but simultaneously, I could see Tesla wanting to keep it going for a while longer. These Foundation Series trucks come with a $20,000 upcharge from this truck's MSRP, and there is a very long list of customers who would be willing to pay those prices, it would seem. While making tons of these supposedly limited edition trims make it seem less exclusive, Tesla will eventually shift to regular production, and the standard trim will undoubtedly outnumber the Foundation Series. Next up today, Keeps offers professional care for hair loss from the comfort of your home without ever visiting a doctor's office or pharmacy. Male pattern baldness affects 2 out of every 3 guys by the time they're 35. For me, I had to eventually embrace the fact that my hair was gone, but you don't have to. This is the product I wish I would have known about when I first noticed signs of hair loss. You just complete an online consultation to get matched with a licensed medical professional, and treatment is delivered discreetly to your door. They have 3, 6, and 12-month delivery options that you can adjust, pause, or cancel at any time. All treatment plans are personalized to address your unique needs and recommended by a licensed medical provider, specially trained in men's hair loss. Keeps also offers hair thickening shampoo, conditioner, and styling pomade. Over 1 million men have saved their hair with Keeps, and over 5,000 have rated it 5 stars. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of what you have, Keeps has a trusted line of products to help you along the way. A big thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video. Hair loss stops with Keeps. For a special offer to get started, go to keeps.com/Ryan Shaw or click the link in the description below. That's keeps.com/Ryan Shaw. If you receive a Foundation Series invite, then you will see that Tesla has added some new customization options for your truck. The first is an all-new tactical gray interior color that gives this truck an even sleeker look on the inside. It changes the white paneling on the doors and dash to gray, and for many, this was actually the interior they wanted from the start. The second new feature is the long-awaited 20-inch wheel option, which features a new tire and tread design that should offer increased range over the current all-season tires. With these new tires equipped, the all-wheel drive truck should get up to 340 miles of range, and the Cyber Beast will get 320 miles. While this higher efficiency option is undoubtedly appealing to many customers, many have been quick to criticize the design here. We can get a good look of the difference between the original Cyber wheel design and the new 20-inch core design. For a lot of people, this is a huge step down that doesn't at all capture the cool integrated look that the original wheels had, with covers that they still need to fix. But still, many will be enticed by the increased range that these wheels offer, and it should still be a popular option. It's definitely interesting to see these options become available with no price difference from what we can tell. For every other Tesla, if you upgrade your wheels and upgrade the interior to a white interior, it's an upcharge. For the Foundation Series Cybertruck, it seems pricing is the same regardless. That Foundation Series also includes the FSD package with it, but Tesla still has yet to come close to delivering it via software, and it looks to still be months away. Elon Musk posted, quote, "We must focus on FSD for the other 99% of the fleet. Cybertruck FSD is a few months away." This makes sense, but when this feature was sold to customers as part of the Foundation Series package and now costs a full $4,000 less, it really doesn't make sense to still be waiting on it. If you're interested in those new trim options but already have a Foundation Series truck on order, then you still have the option to edit the order while it's in the queue. This edit will likely push back your estimated delivery time by 2 to 3 months, according to Tesla, so keep that in mind before making your decision. The Cybertruck is becoming an increasingly regular sight on the road, and it's exciting to see deliveries increase even further. Next up today, while Tesla's full self-driving package is the autonomous driving system that you've probably heard about the most, and are hearing about more and more these days, other companies around the globe are working hard to bring their own systems to market. One of the most advanced of those systems, at least at its surface, is Mercedes' Drive Pilot automated system. While Tesla's FSD supervised system is very capable, it can only achieve level 2 autonomy at this point, meaning the driver has to be constantly monitoring the road to take over at a moment's notice, and they are liable if anything goes wrong. Drive Pilot, however, is a level 3 system that allows you to fully take your eyes off the road while it is engaged. That sounds like a pretty clear-cut improvement on the surface, but while this system is undeniably impressive, it does still have some big shortcomings. Edmunds Cars took a fully kitted out Mercedes EQS equipped with Drive Pilot out onto the road and put it through its paces. First off, eligible Mercedes vehicles have to be equipped with the built-in sensor array that comes at an added cost and can't be retrofitted onto already purchased vehicles, unlike Tesla, which solely relies on the standard camera system and can be put on any of their vehicles. Second, Drive Pilot can only offer level 3 self-driving in very narrow circumstances. It only works on select pre-mapped highways and in medium traffic going under 40 miles per hour. You have to be following relatively closely behind another vehicle in good weather during the day and on a road with clear marked lanes. While it's activated, you have to otherwise be sitting up, awake in the front seat, but beyond that, you are essentially free to do whatever you want, including playing with the infotainment system. If the system asks you to take control of the car, you have 10 seconds to assume control, unlike the 1-second response time that a level 2 system is supposed to enforce. If you don't take control within 10 seconds, the car will automatically slow to a stop, it having assumed that you have had a medical emergency. It can't operate on city streets, it can't lane change while in level 3 mode, although it can in level 2, and it asks the driver to take control of the vehicle quite often. So basically, in a very specific circumstance, you're not going to get driving nags. Tesla is also simultaneously shifting away from some of the most aggressive forms of checking driver awareness. The way that Tesla's determined if your hand is on the wheel is by making you apply some pressure to the wheel every minute or so. The main way it does this is by jiggling the wheel slightly in your hand and checking if there is any resistance. Ultimately, this feature could be becoming a bit redundant since Tesla now uses an internal camera system to check if the driver is paying attention. As such, Elon Musk posted that Tesla is planning on removing this, quote, wheel nag in an upcoming FSD version 12.4. As this technology progresses, Tesla's approach is going to allow customers a literally more hands-off experience. While Drive Pilot is a very capable system from Mercedes, it ultimately costs $2,500 a year for a system that only works in extremely narrow circumstances. Full self-driving, on the other hand, costs $1,200 a year at this point, or is otherwise available for a one-time purchase price of $8,000 and works on any road. The driver at Edmunds put it best, quote, "While it was on, I have to say it worked pretty flawlessly, but with the operating conditions being so narrow, I couldn't shake the thought of, is this all worth it, from my head. Even trying to film this video was difficult, as the vehicle would hand control back just as we were getting going, especially with that low 40-mile-per-hour speed threshold. And if I were paying $2,500 a year to use this system and it wouldn't stay on, I would find that pretty frustrating." The system is definitely odd. It's cool that it can obtain the level 3 category, but it doesn't really seem like it's actually offering that much, other than that title. Tesla's AI-based approach, on the other hand, makes them stand out from the crowd, and they are greatly expanding and improving that all the time. Elon Musk posted a breakdown on X explaining some of the cool improvements coming soon to the already impressive FSD version 12. He says, quote, 12.4 has almost completely retrained models. The final touches are for comfort, as it sometimes accelerates or brakes too fast for most people's taste. 12.5 and 12.6 are in various stages of testing. We're getting into rare, complex situations. For example, going down a narrow one-way road, encountering a road closure, and having to reverse out to find a new route. That closure also needs to be communicated to the rest of the fleet so you don't get a whole bunch of Teslas stuck down a road. This is one of the first examples I've seen from him fully mentioning inter-fleet connectivity to communicate things that are going on the road. That will be huge for Tesla's future robotaxi fleet. In another tweet, he adds that version 12.4 is likely going to be coming out next week. Tesla's growing training network allows them to rapidly train and deploy bigger and bigger updates on FSD that greatly improve its functionality. The company is going all in on autonomy at this point, and their self-driving software is at the heart of that move. Tesla is in the midst of bringing this software to both Europe and China soon, which will open them up to unparalleled new opportunities for driving data collection, propelling this software to new heights. In a recent trip to China, Elon Musk even floated the idea of China becoming a prime testing location for their new robotaxis. Chinese officials seem positive towards the idea, but Tesla is still awaiting approval on their FSD system in the country. I do have to say, I've been very skeptical of FSD for a long time. Elon Musk has been promising a lot, every year, and a lot of that hasn't come true. But with this latest version, I've been using it a lot, and it is extremely impressive. There are still corner cases, and there are still times when I need to take over, but I think we are starting to see something very impressive from Tesla here. Whether it comes next year, I don't know, but I think it is something that they have a head start on and may actually solve. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. While Apple recently made headlines for canceling their long-awaited electric car, it seems that they aren't quite done in the EV market after all. A news publication out of Asia has reported that Apple is in negotiations with Rivian to implement some of the EV technology that they previously developed into the upcoming R2 and R3. This long-rumored Apple car has been in development within the company for a decade, so while the company never released a product, they definitely have a lot of useful experience to draw upon. This partnership is simply rumored at this point, but it does raise a ton of questions regarding what could be shared between these two companies. Automakers around the globe are investing heavily into autonomous driving technology, and we know that the Apple car was going to be self-driving to some extent. Starting to build cars was always going to be a big jump for Apple, so a partnership like this could allow them to focus on software development while somebody else manages the heavy manufacturing. This partnership may not end up this involved or even pan out at all, so until then, we'll just have to keep an eye out for other developments. In other Rivian news, the automaker has announced that they have big plans for their upcoming R2 vehicle. They just received a massive $827 million incentive package from the state of Illinois to expand their current factory there, which will also be the initial manufacturing home of the R2. Following this expansion, Rivian has outlined its new expected capacity to be 215,000 vehicles per year. Of that number, they expect 150,000 to be the new R2. This production goal would be huge for the company, as it would mean that their new vehicle is expected to sell almost 3 times as well per year as their existing lineup, at least with all the considerations of scaling. Rivian makes very compelling vehicles, but scaling up effectively is the most difficult hurdle to cross, and I hope that they can keep to these estimates. Lucid has just had their Q1 earnings call and made an announcement that places the Tesla Model Y firmly in their sights. During their call, Lucid talked a lot about their upcoming Gravity SUV coming later this year and a currently unnamed mid-size SUV coming in 2026. That vehicle is currently expected to be priced around $48,000, a pretty big drop for a company that has so far only made luxury vehicles. This is very similar to the path that Tesla took many years ago. First, they started out with luxury vehicles like the Roadster, Model S, and Model X before shifting towards more affordable options. Lucid is planning on this vehicle being a direct competitor to the Model Y, and they plan on getting prices down through greatly increased efficiency. CEO Peter Rawlinson said, quote, "I'm confident that we can achieve unrivaled levels of efficiency for this crucial mid-size class vehicle. I can't stress enough that efficiency is the key to a small battery for any given range, and a small battery is a key element to lowering costs when it comes to making an EV. So while Lucid is currently known for offering vehicles with exceptionally long range, like their 516-mile Lucid Air Grand Touring, it sounds like this one will have to take a big range reduction to stay affordable. Since Lucid has only made luxury vehicles up until now, I'm very curious to see where they will make cuts to make this car affordable. We don't have a ton of information on this vehicle yet, so until then, we'll have to wait until we hear more. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see what the future of Tesla's AI is looking like for your own car, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.